Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys, full-time trader and technical analyst. We've got the FOMC tomorrow, 2 p.m., and we don't know if we're going to get a 25 or a 50 basis point cut, which means volatility is going to be coming. We had a good bit of volatility today, but SPY and QQQ closed flat, new all-time high for the S&P 500. So not a ton to update. As we know, it's all about tomorrow, and we can see a significant amount of volatility. Just remember that it's not just the 2-hour reaction on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday needs to follow through, and oftentimes we see one direction on Wednesday afternoon, and then Thursday and Friday go the other direction. So SPY, new all-time high. Congrats, bulls. But it was a gap up open, and we just went straight up 5% in, 5 trading days. So not surprising we didn't get a whole lot of follow through. And we have a very clear resistance on the NASDAQ. And if we do not break this resistance, we're not going anywhere in the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. Look at where we topped out today. It's at that level. Remember this quadruple top from the way down, and now we're testing it on the way back up. Bears are hoping that this is a 4-hour head and shoulders for a very convincing rejection that rolls over into more meaningful consolidation. And that low of yesterday is a key short-term support level. If I'm, in a bullish position and I want to have a real protective stop into the FOMC, I'm using that level, and we'll see if that holds overnight. But the resistance is very clear, and there's a number of names where the resistance is very clear. Another one is Tesla. Tesla, high of this entire move was 235, and that is exactly where we topped out. So there's a resistance zone, 232 to 235. Let's get these exact levels here. So you can see back here we topped out in the 234s. We topped out at 235. We topped out at 232s. And today we topped out 234s. So essentially we'll call that a triple top. Bears would need to break 223.53 for that to be a convincing rejection, bigger picture. And to do that, they're going to have to confirm an hourly downtrend as the result of the next bounce. But again, just a crystal clear resistance level that bears are playing off of. XBI also has one. So XBI, we've been watching this daily resistance. And again, I expect a significant amount of volatility in IWM and XBI over the next 3 days in response to the FOMC. But XBI just went straight up from 97 to 102, so 5% move right into a wall of resistance. And again, this is essentially a multiple year top on XBI. And today we topped out at 102.45. Same deal, the bears have to confirm an hourly downtrend if it's going to follow through, but it's at least an initial rejection. And again, a very clear resistance level to be keeping an eye on. So that's what we're watching. The good news for the S&P 500 bulls is even if it's a bear reaction to the FOMC tomorrow, from where we stand right now, we can drop down 2% and still just look for a daily higher low. Granted, the bulls would rather not pull back 2%, but space to work with. SMH, double top at the bounce high, so unable to confirm the little daily bull flag. Same thing with NVDA. So again, we can just mark these two levels. I am not doing a good button job today. So 230.87, 237.55 are the two levels we care about. NVDA, we can do the same thing. Bounce high up at 120.79. And came close to breaking the low of yesterday. So hourly uptrend confirmed from hourly oversold with zero follow through. And this is why we stay protective. If you're playing the hourly oversold bounce for a daily higher low, you sell partial, you stick your stop under the low. And if it fails to follow through, you stop out, break even, or tiny loss. And that's that. XLV was a lead bear sector today. Didn't quite get to hourly oversold. I want to see the response to hourly oversold when we get there. But again, another name that has a lot of space for a daily higher low, has not yet confirmed a daily uptrend. So that has to happen if the weekly bull flag is going to remain with a high probability. XLF, bull follow through today. Only resistance really. There's a couple little levels, but pretty much the all-time high, 45.88. Same thing. Even if it's a bearish reaction to the FOMC, we've got a good bit of space for a daily higher low to be the result of that reaction. IWM, fourth gap up open in a row, and then ran straight into resistance, 222.45. We failed to break it by 65 cents. Bears are going to try and confirm an hourly downtrend to daily consolidation. A lot of space for a daily higher low if that happens. So again, just from what we've looked at so far, heading into the FOMC, XLF, IWM, SPY, all have space for daily higher lows, even if it's a bear reaction. If it's a bull reaction, we can be looking to break resistance. But obviously, with SPY hitting all-time highs today, the burden is on bears to have a reaction to the FOMC where they take some control. And again, I've got some hedge positions. I have a bull lean in my portfolio. I'll stop out of those hedge positions if bulls follow through. And if not, I'll stay in them. But again, going to give it a little bit of time for the dust to settle. The 2-hour reaction tomorrow afternoon is not it. It's not the end game. NIO daily bull flag confirmed from hourly oversold. That's great, but not that big upper wick and close at the low of the day. We gave back far too much of that move. And we have, that's not real after hours there. So we have high of the day, give it all back on the hourly. There's a lot of space for an hourly lower high to be the result of the next bounce. If the bears confirm an hourly downtrend, it's a bull flag with zero follow through, which means keep an eye for weekly consolidation. And I've got my stop under 510 on that swing position. Cannabis, daily inside bar for MSOS, potentially shaping up the daily lower high. Again, bulls got to be cautious because if we drop down here and break 674, that's a confirmed daily downtrend. And we just set another weekly lower high, keeping weak on the longer term time frame. So bears still playing defense and winning in the short term. TCNNF pulling back with it, holding on much better. Day 12 of stair steps in a row. And again, I will be watching response to hourly oversold, looking for a daily higher low next time we get there, if we get there. Dollar, still holding daily support, so a bit of a bounce off of it. Again, just a sideways range. We'll see if the FOMC leads to a break. Gold, daily consolidation underway. Still a potential bull flag at this point. No red flags on the daily. Silver has not started. Actually, it might. Yeah, it did at this point. So I'm watching this uptrending resistance line because we have a bunch of rejections from it. So just keeping an eye on it. And now we have daily consolidation underway and a lot of space for a daily higher low on silver as well. So both gold and silver, add it to the list, even if it's a bearish reaction to the FOMC. If it's not too massive, just looking for daily higher lows. There are some names where, even if it's a bullish reaction to the FOMC, they're just looking for daily lower highs. But not a ton of names in that setup, and nothing comes to my mind right off the bat here. More bullish setups, again, because the S&P 500 just hit all-time highs today. And again, the simple statement is if the NASDAQ does not break that wall of resistance, the S&P 500 will not follow through on a new all-time high. NASDAQ is clearly lagging. It has to join. Oil was watching this to potentially be a 4-hour rising wedge. It is not. That big break over it is negating it for me, so just sticking with the daily stair step. Bounce day number 5 here. Bulls are giving themselves space to watch for a daily higher low to be the result of next consolidation. See if they can shape up a trend change. And that's about it here in the short term. Establish those game plans. If QQQ does not break this resistance and sets a weekly lower high on a bearish FOMC reaction, it is definitely possible that this tightening range breaks bear. So tomorrow and the next couple of days will be important. Crystal clear resistance on the futures chart. And that futures lines up with 477 on QQQ. So there's QQQ's tops. And today we topped out at 477.60. I know a bunch of traders. I'm positioned the way I want to be for the FOMC, but a bunch of chart guys traders today were top fishing this resistance to grab some more hedge positions into the FOMC. So nice to have that level to go off of. All right, we'll see what we get. Weekly supports are key for the longer term charts. Do good things.